country with the election of President Barack Obama. He called us to service as there remains much work to do to end unemployment, poverty, and crime in our communities. There's so many books on how we can accomplish this. But this year, everyone's raving about this summer's hottest new book, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America by Chicago's own Emmanuel Barbee. A graduate of Northeastern Illinois University, Barbee addresses key ways we back our families and communities. But unlike so many other books on this topic, Barbee captivates his reader, presenting solutions through a riveting life story. It's entertaining, it's different, it's exciting. The perfect book club selection. Don't be left out. Get your copy of The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America. Order today at Amazon.com.
Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. Happy New Year, family. If you are new to this channel, then please subscribe and share our content with your friends. This will help grow our audience. I provide a written transcript in the group with the same name on Facebook for those of you who don't speak English. I also cite all of my sources under Show and Proofs section. You can find all of my work under the About section on my YouTube channel. I use this platform to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social group by giving Black business owners free airtime to promote their products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ and ordinary law-abiding citizens an opportunity to share their special talents and skills with my listeners from the podcast community. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcast and YouTube channel to help them earn extra revenue during COVID-19. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships and grants, housing and legal services, all for free. The goal this year is to raise $500,000 for our film project, Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. I would like to thank those of you who have donated to our film project. I plan on recruiting people from my friends list and people in my social groups who want to be a part of our film project. Between 15 to 20 people who are interested in being part of our team, for those persons to send me their email address to my Facebook inbox. I would like for us to hold a private conference through Google Meetings to discuss the best methods of reaching others via social media, people on their friends list, donors, and local businesses. I'm just sharing information about our film project through our virtual store, our nonprofit, GRCAM Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, through our PayPal page and my author page. Those of you who will work with us will go down in history with me and Sister Renee. I don't have another 29 years to waste talking to people who don't care. I'm trying to reach brave and smart, like-minded Black people and African people who are woke. Super woke. GRCAM Chicago is to help. Our mission is to help eradicate urban violence in Chicago through our programs and services. Our objective is to build a bridge and gap between the diaspora and continental Africans through arts, culture, and commerce. GRCAM Chicago will be in the business of creating docudramas, short films, theater, photography, fine arts, music, poetry, literature, sculpture, and dance for inner city youth. Once this virus is cleaned up, we plan on launching African tours in order for us to move from behind a computer and make real connections with our global black family on the continent, starting in South Africa. I created GRCAM, the grassroots community activist movement, because I got tired of all of the division among black people. Pan-Africanism was not working for black Americans. I wanted to start a new movement for black people to unite us based on individuals who care about solving black issues. I created GRCAM in 1991 on a site called Gopher. I wanted to create an organization that focused specifically on solving black issues in America. I wanted to connect with other like-minded African Americans, Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Europeans, African immigrants, and Afro-Latinos throughout the diaspora. This is a podcast where we talk about solving black issues and African issues using a spiritual perspective as it pertains to the great awakening of our people that has been prophesied. Our objective is to get our film project fully funded and play it by ear during COVID-19. Once this virus is cleaned up, then we will shoot our film and promote our film in selected movie theaters and sell our DVDs. Together, we will put GRCAM on the map and turn my vision of Black America into a reality. I understand that many of you have families and are working 2 to 3 jobs to make ends meet. If you are unable to participate, no worries. When you are able, please listen to this podcast, leave a comment, good or bad, and share this podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Tonight's topic, the campaign to silence GRCAM. My Facebook page was hacked on December 19th. I was blessed to recover my page and not have to worry about starting all over from scratch. This is my 3rd Facebook page that was attacked. My first page was shut down. They was successful at closing that down. I noticed that my YouTube channel has also been hit. People have told me that they are not getting the notifications when I upload new videos, and people are being unsubscribed from my channel. On Facebook, I have 1,571 people, yet on my YouTube channel, I only have 200 subscribers. Family, I need y'all that's on my Facebook friends list to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm encouraging everyone in my social groups to please resubscribe. It's free and it doesn't cost you a thing. Be prepared. A lot of censorship are coming for the next 4 years. There's going to be a lot of targeting of black empowerment. There is a concorded attack against the grassroots community activist movement. The financial elites have divided us because of this the age appropriate viewing in order to slow down our message, which is an excuse to take down our videos and destroy our channel. People who vote are in revolt less. Let me say that again. People who vote are not in revolt. People only revolt when they have given up on the ballot box. People have put their faith in the ballot box. They feel that the very system that was created by the financial elites is going to all of a sudden change and give them a favorable outcome. If this is true, then why would anyone revolt? For example, in the recent election, we are going to ignore Joe Biden's 1994 crime bill and his anti-black sentiments and pretend that he is going to do something for us based on assumption. Truth be told, black people nationwide is not organized. GRCAM have been about that work, trying to prepare black people through this podcast and throughout my social groups. I have been doing this for 16 years on Facebook alone. The grassroots community activist movement is trying to teach black people how to become critical thinkers and how to build. The whole purpose of my revised book is to recruit brave and smart black people and African people worldwide to join our new movement in the 21st century. GRCAM is about educating black people about how elections are a business transaction. If your career politicians are not offering you any tangibles, then we have the right to withhold our vote. Every black person within the sound of my voice owes a debt to our ancestors who have made it off the plantations. We need all of you to be a part of this film project. We are experiencing an unprecedented amount of interference because our audience is growing. Notice the financial elites are not attacking the coons. They are being promoted, as well as black feminists. It's going to be up to everyone who's listening to this podcast to put me and my message on blast. We're not going to allow other people to tell us that we can't work together. If you want to have a black empowerment, we have to build our own platform. But for the meantime, this is where people are at. They are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. When it's an issue with a Karen or an issue with road cops, black people share that without being asked. People are quick to share problems, but they are not quick to share solutions. When you don't support your advocates, you won't have advocates. We need to work together as a team and as a cohesive unit. We don't have the option of losing hope because the penalty of giving up is at best but perpetual oppression. The most important thing that we can do is work together and reaffirm our devotion to black empowerment and rebuilding our community. Blacks in California are only 6% of the population. The cost of living is too expensive due to urban gentrification. We can't expect 6% of the population to compete against 94% of the population who lacks economic resources. How is it that blacks and brown coalition working for you? I'm going to say that again. How is that black and brown coalition working? No other black outlet is talking about black people being eradicated from California. If we don't take this situation serious, we could end up just like California. I'm calling on everyone who is listening to this podcast. We as black people have to do better for the sake of the next generation. What have we accomplished since the civil rights movement? We have been undermined by the so-called People of Color Coalition, who's working against our interests. Look at what's been happening since the past 40 years. America has flooded people who are unsympathetic about our struggles. We continue to elect politicians who have created this fake minority coalition that is one-sided. We are not benefiting. Everyone else have been benefiting off our struggles. The civil rights movement was meant for us. No one else was enslaved, experienced convict leasing, Jim Crow, and redlining. Our people was the victims. GRCAM is pushing for a cultural revolution within black society. I don't want to see black faces in high places who are not doing anything for us. In Africa and in the Caribbean, white supremacists are running everything behind the scenes because they control the economy. They orchestrate all of the devastation and is protected by the buffer class. They are there to steal the natural resources to benefit America, Europe, and China. As I mentioned in my revised book, The Solution for Black America, the financial elites flooded our community with drugs, guns, and liquor stores. They allowed our black middle-class professionals to move into their communities to further divide us based on social class. We have to get our black middle-class professionals to help us rebuild things again because they have those talents and skills that unfortunately, a lot of us don't have. We are more divided today than we were during the civil rights era. For example, on the internet, people are talking about the diaspora wars. Adults, American Descendants of Slavery versus FBA, Foundational Black Americans. I reached out to both Antonio Moore and Tariq Nasheed. Since we're all talking about black empowerment and the racial wealth gap between blacks and whites, but both of them declined to speak with me because they have big egos, unfortunately. When I created this podcast, I did it to include other black voices who are concerned about solving black issues rather than just marching and protesting to the financial elites who created this mess in the first place. Our people have been marching and protesting for 52 years, begging the financial elites to give us freedom, justice, and equality. When I suggest that we get off this hamster wheel and build a new system from a black perspective, they take me for a joke. I understood why we as a collective are the poorest people in America and why we are the most victimized group. It's because we're black. We have 2 to 3 generations who have been betrayed by our so-called leaders. The major websites have declared war on GRCAM. Ask me why. Because intelligent black people can't be dumb consumers. This podcast is about black empowerment. We want to teach our members in real time about practicing group economics by supporting our film project until we are able to make our presence known in the black community in Chicago. If we're all a bunch of poor people making only minimum wage, then we're not going to be able to control the politics in our community. GRCAM is about helping our people improve our socioeconomic status. Each GRCAM member is a cell in the black body. You are either a healthy cell or a cancerous cell. At this point, I am the business. I am the grassroots community activist movement. But as a group, we will turn my ideas into a real business, GRCAI, the Grassroots Community Activist Institute. And that's the goal, to move from behind the computer and make our presence known on the west side of Chicago and eventually on the south side of Chicago. As I stated many times on this podcast, I'm just one black man with a vision and a plan. It takes a team to make a dream work. It doesn't matter how bad I want to start this Christian business. Without black support, I can't do my job. And I always explain to our people in terms of on a spiritual level. Nehemiah did not build the wall of Jerusalem by himself. He had qualified architects, bricklayers, and engineers on his team. Likewise, I want brave and smart black middle-class professionals on my team. I want the global black family to know my story and all of the foolishness I had to endure because I was trying to do something positive in the black community. I want to make sure that none of my members would never have to endure such humiliation and rejection for trying to do something positive for our racial group. That's why I'm making this film. Why is GRCAM needed in Black America? Let's face it, we're in a situation where we are not protected by the state. The worst thing you can do is to ignore danger. Road cops are protected by prosecutors, judges, police unions, and the grand jury due to qualified immunity. The Department of Justice dropped the Tamir Rice case. The DOJ announced that it would not bring federal criminal charges against two Cleveland road cops in the 2014 murder of 12-year-old Tamir Rice, stating that the video was poor quality for prosecutors. I hold former President Barack Obama and Eric Holder accountable because this happened on his watch. The road cops who killed Breonna Taylor are still walking around free. The same thing with George Floyd. And finally, the Jacob Blake case. That I would say that road cop that shot Jacob Blake 7 times in the back, he will not be charged. All I am trying to do is get this film fully funded and made and start my Christian business in Chicago. Create satellite communities within the inner cities, hopefully 5 cities in America. And connect with African entrepreneurs in order to create a win-win situation. On the one hand, to help improve the African economy through trade while providing goods and services in the black community. As for me and my house, I will apply for dual citizenship and carry my message across Africa, the Caribbean, and Brazil. This is what I want to be remembered for. I appreciate that people, listening to this podcast. This is very important to me. But also, I want this to be a call to action. Again, I'm not doing this, making these videos for my health, posting all this stuff in all my groups. I didn't create my groups, just to be popular. I'm trying to, I want to connect with other like-minded people, like-minded, brave and smart black people, African people. Because we have to build this ourselves. And before I cut and run to Africa, I want to try to help my people here in America. And I have to get the business started here in America, so when I do go to Africa, I don't have to explain who I am. My work would speak for itself. Don't wait until I'm dead to embrace my vision. Work with me right now while I'm alive. Again, it's been 29 years. Very frustrating. I don't just do this stuff behind a computer. I go out, reaching out to people in the community. They know who I am. But again, a lot of people are on this shucking and jiving. So those kind of people I don't really want to be bothered with. Because their mindset is all about, trying to play con games. And, I don't associate with people that's about that. So that's why I want to do this film in order to reach the global black family. I want everybody to know my story. And I want people to that join this organization to know that they don't have to endure what I had to experience just to try to do something positive for our racial group. We want to focus on solving, black issues, strengthening the black family, and for those that want to remain in America, that's on you. That's your choice. But I really want to connect with those that think outside the box like myself to take our talents and skills to the continent and try to help build up those infrastructures in the African continent, so that way we can have some peace while we're on this planet. Yes, white supremacy is global, and yes, they're in Africa too. But there we have a better chance because there we're the majority. And again, I'm gonna do the same thing that I'm doing here in America. Everyone will be screened, because if people is not interested, then again we're gonna pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. And so I hope that this year God would connect me with other like-minded, brave and smart black people and African people. And for those persons to step up to the plate, support this film project. We want to practice group economics, and that's the way we're going to practice it, is through this film. Because I'm not reaching out to the financial elites to help fund this film. Technically, this is going to be a low-budget film because it's $500,000. Blockbuster films is, like way up in the millions. But again, I want to make sure that I be able to hire a quality film crew. And I want to make sure that I hire me a quality writer to make sure that this film is going to be on point and it's going to be professionally made, and that it reach, my target audience, of which is, the global black family. Now, I do want to mention that if you have non-black sympathizers as friends, share my information with them as well. But again, we as black people are going to take the lead because this organization is based on my experience, and we have to build this ourselves, because then we can pass this organization down to our children. My creator, he called me to move beyond the four walls of the church and make our presence known in the high crime, gang, and drug infested communities, because those people are overlooked in society. That's just how it is. And that's where I came from. And if I'm unable to get support from people here in Chicago, I would take this organization to another city. Point blank. Yes, it's been 29 years that I've been reaching out to people here in Chicago, as well as online and in my social groups. And it's frustrating. But Emmanuel Barbee is still here. I'm doing the best that I can. But again, I will not compromise, and in this organization, we are going to raise the bar. We're raising the standards. Ain't no half-stepping. Everyone will be screened. Everyone will sign that community pledge once we have that physical building and be placed in our database, because I want to make sure that everybody's doing their part. No half-stepping here. And again, we just want to make a positive nonprofit that's going to be able to compete with other organizations that's just about rhetoric and talking. In this organization, we're going to be able to show results. We want to make sure people reach their life goals. And this organization is personal. It's not just, business, but I take it personal. When other black people tell me that they're not interested, I had to, before my Facebook page was sabotaged, I deleted a lot of people that have spiritual titles that just told me up front that they were not interested. If you're not interested in solving black issues, I ask you to please delete me off your friends list and just keep it moving. Because I don't want those type of people on my page. Again, the reason why I decided to turn to social media is because this is where people are at. And now, since we're going through the second wave of COVID-19, this is the best opportunity to, try to network with people. Because, this is where people are at. They're online. And they're on the major social networks that I just mentioned: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Other ones as well, but those are the main ones. And so I'm trying to connect with as many people as possible. I hear on Facebook there's supposed to be 1 billion people. And so I just hope that I can connect with other brave and smart people this year, and people that's on my friends list, especially in my Christian groups, Light of the World Inspirational Group and Christian Spoken Word Network. It's not about us just posting videos. That's fine and dandy. But this organization is about us networking with each other. That's how come I want us to talk with each other in real time. Tonight I'm not going to be taking any calls because I'm just giving an overview about what I focus on, what we're going to be doing this year. But hopefully when I do another podcast, I will have the phone lines and stuff where people can speak with me directly and interact with me. But I just want to connect with people that's not about playing games and all that stuff. That this is for our survival. Okay, and we have to, basically we have to do better than what we're doing. Yeah, I'm really sad about all this stuff, but I hate to tell you this, but it's going to get worse in Black America. It's going to get worse. And the reason why is because Jesus, Yahshua, has set us free. Why in the world do we want to remain in a country that enslaved our ancestors? That's all. That's the question at hand. Get those talents and skills that we have, and let's take that to the continent. Now, the only reason why I'm trying to, like I say, I'm focusing on setting up satellite communities because everybody's not going to be able to just up and leave. And so we want to set up a quote-unquote satellite communities within the inner cities, so that way the people that's going to be members, we're going to, advocate for them and all that, and try to see if we can get them to be able to come over to the continent, clean up their records and do what we have to do. But and the ones that want to remain here in America, we just pray for them. And, it is what it is. And if they're not members, it's not our fault. People got free will. Now, everybody's not going to want to leave America. That's on them. And that's fine. I'm trying to connect with those who think outside the box, that want to go ahead and return back to the motherland, but make sure that before we leave America, that we try to help our brothers and sisters here. That's all. And so again, I don't have another 29 years to be wasting. Again, I'm speaking to my my continental African friends. Tell everybody about, or share my information with all your friends, but especially the ones that I would say that got the capital, that have businesses. Tell them about joining my African group on Facebook called GRCAM of Africa. Because that's where, I'm going to, when I do go to, when we do go to South Africa, once this virus is cleaned up, I want to connect with, African entrepreneurs, so that way we can do trade with them, starting in South Africa. My next film, or the sequel to Flip Liberator, would be African Liberator. And I want to make that in South Africa. I know I'm going ahead of myself, but I'm just speaking stuff into existence. But that's the plan. But right now, I want to focus on trying to raise capital for this film project. And like I say, I'm looking for between 15 to 20 people on my friends list that's interested. Please send me your email address, and we're going to take it from there, because I want to speak with you all on Google meetings, and have a private conference, so that way we could put our minds together and just go ahead and try to get this thing popping, and help speed up the process, because again, I can't do everything. I'm just one individual, but I'm on point. Ain't nothing changed. My message is the same. I paraphrase here and there, but hey, I'm saying the same thing. But it's really hard to try to reach our people. But mark my words, once I start making money, everybody's going to want to come out the woodwork and want to be a part of this organization. But I'm going to let them know, ain't nothing changing. You will be screened, and you will have to sign that community pledge, and you have to pass a criminal background check. And if you want to work for this business, in terms of being part of my management team, you got to show me your credentials. Then we can discuss business. With that said, this is going to conclude the podcast for this evening.